Hi, Twitch. We're coming at you from AWS reInvent 2019 with a special rendition of Live with AM and Nikki. AM, who's our special guest?
That is Build with AM and Nikki.
Build with AM and Nikki.
Come on.
Whatever.
Come on, get the name of
Whatever.
our own show.
It's changed too many times for me to count.
Look, I don't mean to badger you about it, but it's very important, okay?
Oh, smooth moves like a cheetah.
Nice. Who are you?
I'm Nikki. I'm a software engineer here at AWS.
I'm AM. I'm a solutions architect at AWS. We run a show together, and who are you?
AM, who's this special person?
He rushed the stage. We had to let him on.
Yeah,
We don't know how he got here.
If you get up here fast enough, they can't stop you when the cameras go on. Yeah,
That's true.
I'm Richard Boyd. I'm a developer advocate for Builder Tools. So it covers all the code services, Cloud9, X-Ray, and SDKs and CLI.
No, really, he won a contest for watching the most streams of Live with AM and Nikki, Build with AM and Nikki. Jeez,
Yep.
I can't get it right. And you know, in honor of winning the contest, we said we have to have him on the show.
Well, actually, we even hired him too. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's how you got your job here, right? Was
Yeah.
you just said, I watched all the AM and Nikki shows.
That was,
That's how you do
it was
it.
the 15th leadership principle that we have.
That's true.
Insist on watching all of Live with AM.
I didn't know if that went through. I've been working on that
Yeah,
for a long time.
It finally got through.
Great.
All right, so after you won the contest
Yes.
and you came aboard
Yes.
the AWS ship,
Yeah.
you launched some things.
Yes, we launched for the Cloud Developer Kit, which provides a better experience for authoring cloud resources and with CloudFormation. We announced general availability for C# and Java. So before that, they were in development.
C#. You got two fans right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. So we're gonna
Yeah.
today we're gonna do some stuff in C# as well. Yes, we launched those for general availability, so it means the API for this is stable, and we minimize breaking changes, and we do need breaking changes. We'll bump major versions, just like regular software best practices.
And there were two other launches, I believe.
Yes, so also we'll go over today is the CDK Explorer, which gives you a better development experience to see how the things that you're writing in your code map to CloudFormation customer resources that are created. So you can see that one-to-one mapping or many-to-one mapping.
And what was the last thing?
We also simplified cloud debugging for debugging cloud resources from your local IDE.
Dang. All right, I have so many questions.
Cool.
So let's back up for a second. You briefly covered what the CDK is,
Yes.
but for those that have never seen it before,
Yes.
what is it?
So CDK is a cloud developer kit. Before the CDK, if you wanted to author cloud resources in the cloud, we would use CloudFormation to use the infrastructure as code. There was a declarative language for this. It involved a lot of like copy paste. I wanted to share something with you. If everyone on our team wanted to use the same resource, it would just be copying and pasting resources.
CloudFormation is not the easiest to write. We can be honest.
Okay, yeah, it's
Straight up.
There are some rough edges on that. CDK allows abstractions as like a first-class object inside of this authorship experience. So one person can write a cloud resource and then share it with their whole team the same way they would share any other code like object or method via NPM or PyPy or Maven or NuGet.
All right, I want to see this in action.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm like so excited.
All right, let's do it.
AM, comments, questions, concerns, or do you just want to see the demo?
He's still super stoked about the 15th leadership principle.
Yeah. I mean, since that came through, that's going to change a lot of things for me, personally speaking. No, I'm
Wait, what leadership principle?
the leadership principle that if you watch all episodes of our show, then you
get hired.
You get hired, I guess.
That does change a lot of things for me too.
It's like lowering the bar a bit. I'm just gonna say, but no, I'm actually I'm in chat right now talking to some people who are doubting the wonders of C#. So I'm trying.
Wait a minute. Whoa,
Of C#
whoa.
or of CDK?
C#.
Oh, that's
not
Guys,
that-
no
that-
hate in chat. All programming languages rock. They have different purposes, and they serve different communities.
Yeah.
Let's see it in C#.
Okay. Cool. Let me make this bigger, much bigger. Okay. So first thing we'll do is we'll make a directory to host our application. We'll say AM is the best coder.
Ooh,
Let's make
What
sure
the
that's-
heck? I don't like this.
I'm loving this.
Already hating this demo.
So is Nikki.
What a
Oh,
turn of events this is
This
for
is
me.
great. Don't look at what it's called now.
No.
And then we'll do CDK init to create a sample template. We'll use a sample template to initialize our application.
AM, what's your favorite programming language?
My favorite?
No, what's your token response?
Yeah, yeah. My favorite is whatever you pay me to write in, man.
Yeah, that's a good
You sign
answer.
my check, I'll write in
That's a
it.
good
I don't
answer.
care.
That's good. I like that. That's good. And then we'll use the sample app template. There's several templates that are available. There's regular app, sample app. We're going to use the sample one today. It creates a few resources for us. This will get the template out of the CDK library and then start building it for us. So we see it's making a new Git repository for us. And then the response here is similar to what we see in the README. It will tell you, how to move forward from here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do .NET build source to build our application.
Yep, gotta compile it.
Yep. And while that's building, we're going to open this up. Open. And this is VS Code, if anyone was unfamiliar.
It's our fave, so we definitely know it.
I'm slowly becoming a fan. I was Team PyCharm for a long time. Now I'm...
You might want to just...
yeah. Oh, thank you. See, I don't know all these key bindings. I'm so new to
I'll
this.
teach you the key bindings as you go.
Cool, awesome. And then we get this application. Here are dependencies. And here is the beginning of our application. All right, this is already built. And now we can do CDK synth to synthesize our application. So this will take the application that we have created in C# that was created for us from the template and turn that into CloudFormation. Right. This usually takes.
What were the
moment.
resources in the sample app?
So in the sample app, the resources are we'll see. It
So
pulls
created
in
a SQSQ
a queue and it
and an
sets it-
SNS topic, and then subscribed the queue to the topic.
Correct. Yep. So this is a bit easier to read than CloudFormation, where there's a lot of variables. You're not sure what's important and what's not because so many things are required. This we bake in sane defaults and like rational defaults for a lot of the features that incorporate a lot of AWS's best practices. So by default, the S3 bucket is completely private with the block public access enabled. And
I just think it's really cool that you can use programming concepts to build your infrastructure now. So
Yep.
if you had to write 3 S3 buckets in CloudFormation, you'd just be doing copy and paste 3 times. Now you can just write a loop.
yeah, and here you can write a loop, and for each iteration of the loop, you'll create a new bucket or queue. And this is synthesized. And then this is, sorry. Yep. Go into
So if you run CDK synth, it will spit out that CloudFormation template for you in the terminal.
yes. It
What if I
also
just want to
writes some-
directly deploy it?
Right. So one thing is it puts it in the terminal for you if you have a single stack. If you only have one CDK stack that's defined in there, which we do by default. But if you have multiple, it doesn't know which one you want. So what it'll do is it won't print anything to the terminal, but it always puts them in the cdk.out directory. So they're in there. If
Yes, you can
didn't-
always go see.
Yeah.
The fun part for me is how many lines of code did I write? 20,
say
24.
including the
And then
dependencies.
how many lines how many lines is the template?
75.
That's always fun for me. I mean, half the time I write like 40 lines of CDK and it's like 1,400 lines of CloudFormation.
Yep.
So if I wanted to directly deploy it,
Yes, coming back to your original question, you could run, I'm not going to run it here, I'll show you the command, is cdk deploy. Let's run it, let's see what happens. This will probably go into my personal account, or maybe it'll fail, I'm not sure, because I didn't set it up for doing a deploy today, but this is generally how you would do it. What it does when you do a deploy is it will resynthesize, so even if you synthesized it before, it'll redo it anyways. And then this, by default, shows you any changes to your IAM permissions, because that's what people tend to care about the most.
Yeah.
But you could also have it set to any changes whatsoever, like a proper diff of what was created, what was removed, etc. Or you can just say, don't show me any changes, I don't care, like YOLO, just push it. You can also...
YOLO, push it.
Yep. And,
Best thing to do is do that on a Friday at 5 p.m.
Yeah,
Get
as you're
push
leaving.
force and then out the door.
Yeah, you leave,
Continuous integration.
and then you don't pick up your phone over
No.
the weekend.
Oh no, I mean if I...
That's my time.
yeah, true. Well, and your battery's dying on your phone too.
That's true. My battery is we're dead right now.
Slowly dying.
Something is broken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ship it.
And it prompts you, does this look right? You could say yes. We'll go ahead and it'll start the deployment. We'll let that run through, and I'll just open up a new terminal while we let that run, so we can move forward. And we'll come back to this in a moment.
Okay, so you also said that you launched the CDK Explorer.
Yes.
I believe you launched it for VS Code.
Yes. So in the
All my favorites.
AWS Toolkit now natively supports the AWS CDK Explorer, so we can now see the stack that we created. So I said that we
I
created
want to
a stack
see
by
this.
default.
Wow.
This is the queue. and then it has the descriptions of the things that we created. So I can see this is a tree representation of the actual cloud formation that was created. So when you're looking at the code from the synthesis, and that's done also.
So that was an extension that you installed in VS Code, and it is the AWS Toolkit extension for VS Code.
Yes. If you update your AWS
if you update the extension,
toolkit extension, it'll pull in the CDK Explorer as well as a feature for that.
Not to get too into the weeds too, but I've been following this on the GitHub repo too.
Nice.
This was a spec that you all added on the CDK team to you added some extra metadata to the CloudFormation template in order to display this visualization.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep, yeah, and I can show you, I think we saw that briefly inside of the template. So we do see like type metadata, and it gives you the path. And this is a kind of like a stack trace of it's from this app, this stack, this construct.
Right. What's cool about this, I just wanted to call out because I always got to push my partners. You know, that's how it is, right? But other companies can make use of this and build tools based off of this metadata to build other visualization tools against CDK.
Yeah, and it's more than just people who want to do like visualization tools. When you publish a construct, when you create a construct and then you package it with JSII, which is a tool that we use to do this cross-language compiling, that it includes a JSII manifest in that file, in the bundled up files, and other companies can pull that in and parse that, and the spec is also open source, and see what other components are you pulling in and how are you using them, so you can incorporate this into like your CI process to say, are you depending on deprecated versions of CDK constructs? Are you using the most recent one? You might say, don't use any of the L1 constructs, you must use the higher level ones, and you can pull this in and inspect this file programmatically based on this spec.
That's super cool.
Yep.
And most of the work, if not all of the work you all are doing is all in the open
source.
on GitHub,
and
in
the
the
AWS
repo.
CDK, and the other one is in the JSII library as well.
Okay, cool.
So this Explorer, it was just sitting there in the bottom in the left-hand side of your file structure?
Yes.
Cool, so it just displays automatically?
Yep.
I don't have to do anything to enable it?
Correct. And this shows you the queue that we created. In the code, we set the visibility timeout, so we can jump over just to confirm that. We set the visibility timeout, to 300 seconds, and then we see it in here. So this is like the actual code that we wrote, and then this is the CloudFormation resources that are created based on that.
And this updates when I run CDK synth or as I'm writing code?
Yeah, so as you run CDK synth, it will replace this CDK.out, this template JSON and the manifest and the tree, and that's what this parses to get that information.
That's super cool.
One thing that we're working on is that you'd be able to select these resources and then see them in the code, kind of like you can like command click to go to a definition. We're working on being able to make that available inside of the Explorer here. We just didn't have time to launch that before reInvent.
Super cool.
And this is also very helpful whenever you have a construct, maybe AM published a construct that I'm now consuming, and his construct builds many resources, and I go to deploy it, and I see all of this CloudFormation resources that are created, and I'm like, where did these come from? I don't know where these came from. It'll show you, it was inside this stack or inside this construct that was created, so you can map your CloudFormation resources back to the actual code that was written.
That's really cool. You mentioned the word stack and constructs a bunch of times. For those that are watching that are like completely new to the CDK, can you define those for us?
Yes. So at the outermost layer is like an app. You have a CDK app that defines all of your resources, and an app is composed of one or more stacks, or directly constructs. And then a stack is a collection of CDK constructs, and a construct could be have various levels. So there's level 1, 2, and 3 currently. A level 1 construct is just a transparent mapping of CloudFormation. So you could directly write CloudFormation in C# or Python or whatever your language is. A layer 2 construct is some more opinionated defaults put into there. So if you've ever deployed like an API gateway endpoint, there's all these things that you have to manually set.
Yeah.
We have set some of those automatically for you in our REST API L2 construct.
So it's like a pattern, a common pattern.
Exactly. I say we, I mean we as in the community. We've had a lot of external contributors contribute a lot of these constructs. It's not just the internal CDK team.
Yeah, it's a completely open source project if you guys want to contribute.
Yes.
Got 2 questions come in through chat that I think are interesting. One is, does the CDK work with the recently announced resource import for CloudFormation, I assume? And that may not know.
I don't think so right now, and the only reason I would say that is that CDK is built on top of the CloudFormation spec,
Right.
and I don't think we have done a CloudFormation. We've done an import of that spec since it was announced. That generally happens once a week or once every 2 weeks.
Sure.
With the build up to reInvent, we haven't pulled that in, so I would expect that to be available at least at the L1 level within the next few days after reInvent.
And this is, I think, more a nuanced question. We might not get to the full answer here, but CDK and SAM, are
Yes.
these compatible tools? Can I use them together?
Yes,
Do I use one or the other?
They're
That type-
complementary. A lot of the problems that they solve are very specific. SAM is focused on serverless applications, where CDK is just infrastructure in general. You can author SAM constructs inside of CDK.
Right.
And
Yeah, isn't there a SAM construct?
there is a
too?
SAM construct inside of CDK, and we're working on making that experience a little bit better. What I really like about SAM, especially with the functions, is that you can just say like SAM package, and it'll do like pip install and bring in all your dependencies, zip it up, and put it in the cloud. And when you do use a SAM construct in CDK, currently it doesn't do that packaging step for you. So we're working on making that better. But the two aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
People have used them both together, and they complement one another.
Sounds like they're like alligators and dinosaurs, right?
Exactly.
Like they're both lizards,
Yes.
but they sure are different, right?
Yes, I think
Okay.
we get along better than alligators and dinosaurs.
All right, all
than, between the SAM and the CDK team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. You
Yeah.
don't want to snap at each other.
Yeah, no, it's maybe like a toothless alligator.
Yeah, it's terrible.
A friendly alligator.
I'm gonna leave. I'm
Okay.
gonna
I'm
leave.
gonna name every animal in a zoo before we get off the stage.
Oh yeah, speaking of zoo, are we gonna have a petting zoo in the AM?
No, we are not having a petting zoo. Why do I have to keep saying no?
I was promised a petting zoo.
You
I'm
were
have a
not
petting
promised
zoo.
a petting
Don't
zoo.
worry.
promised a petting zoo.
We got a petting zoo.
So,
there.
you were explaining the level 1 and 2 of
Yeah.
construct.
Oh, and
and
I
then,
didn't get to level 3. I
No,
apologize.
level 3.
So level 3 pools together many like level 2 constructs into like a much larger pattern. So you've seen this with the ECS patterns that'll have a VPC, ECS.
That's one of my
container, all
favorite
sorts of-
constructs.
Yep, and that's like a level 3, and we're expecting that people in the community will kind of identify things that they'd like to see in L3 constructs to let that more organically grow what comes out of that. And those generally, I predict, won't be in the core CDK library, and we'll have like this rich ecosystem inside of like NPM or PyPy of people who've authored and vendored these.
So constructs obviously can be nested.
Yes.
Can you show an example of that? Or
Sure. Yeah, we can actually create one real quick. Let's see what we're gonna do. It's actually in C#. Actually, there is an example here where a stack is technically a construct. It's a type of construct, and we have. Let's see, how do I put this? Right, so here's one of the stacks. I'm not super fluent in C#, so I'm trying.
Oh, I can help you with that.
Okay, cool. So we want to make like a.
What are you trying to make?
Like a new version of this class, like another one of these classes. That's generally what people do is they'll
well,
see
you
that
can
they
just
have.
copy it and then change the name.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do that.
So you're making another stack.
Yes, but we're gonna change the name for it.
Normally you
Yeah,
would do
inside
this
the
in
same
like a different
interface.
file, but
Yeah. AM is the. An alligator construct.
okay. And then you want to just copy and paste it there.
Yep, for the constructor. Yep, and then this generally works. This I'm going to leave here, and then say var contract equals new. Right then.
Look at you typing C# like a pro.
I know, right? I'm a pro. The scope is
This?
Yep. And then actually,
The ID is anything. You just write a string.
yeah, exactly. So it's my alligator construct. I misspelled that. And then this usually like leave it empty.
Just say new alligator props.
I think it's just stack props. I can do this, right?
Or you could just pass in the props.
Oh, that's right. Oh, what did that do? I think that just pulled it. Yep, props. All right. So now, and this is a common example you'll see in like regular like software engineering, where you have a bunch of stuff inside one method and you extract that out and replace it with like a smaller like a method that represents that.
Totally.
Which is what we've done here. So then we can go ahead and like resynthesize this. This will take just a moment. So are there any questions in the chat?
No, they're just discussing kind of the differences between Amplify and SAM and CDK, Terraform. You know, a lot of things to work with
There are a lot
CloudFormation.
of developer tools that are available.
But I think we're running out of time.
We're almost out of time here.
See a CDK diff. Yeah, so we see the stack and the construct. We'll see a diff. There's another feature that we have that shows you like the difference between the two.
Super cool. So then now it shows the updates. That's awesome. Well, this is a really cool demonstration of the CDK and the CDK Explorer.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
having me.
joining us on
had to
a
watch
shorter
all
rendition
the episodes. Yeah.
of Built
Had
with
to.
AM and Nikki.
I got to. I was allowed
Yeah,
to.
you better watch it.
Yeah, it's all right.
We'll be
I won't
back
invited
with more
back.
content soon, Twitch. Stay tuned.
Thanks.
See you guys soon.